Right everybody, welcome back to the FC26 Journeyman save. Last time out we conquered Korea, winning the K-League with Suwon FC by a single point, coming out on top after a final day shootout for the title. Go and give that a watch if you missed it. There's a playlist link for the series in the description if you're interested. But on to the present day, we've decided to stay another season. Our business is not done yet at Suwon. We won the league title last year, so that's checked off. But we're not going to be paying much attention to the domestic shenanigans this season because we are in the Asian Champions League. Thanks to that title win last season, there's our group. We play each team twice. The top two go through. We've got the old boys, poetically, Melbourne Victory, as well as a Chinese side and Al Ittihad in there. You've got to feel that if we do win those games against Shanghai Port and Melbourne Victory, we'll basically be through to the knockouts. Now, we're not overhauling the squad this year. We'd be daft to do so after winning the bloody league, but there is one big notable incoming. A pre-contract deal sorted for a Romanian number 10, can also play out wide, joining us from a Chinese side, Zhejiang Professional. Welcome, Alexandru Mitricha. I'm going to try and get that name right, but the idea is that he comes in to phase out Tyson, who's rapidly declining, bless him. But the signing does mean that we've hit the foreign player limit. But look at those stats. You can see why we wanted to get him in. But it does mean that we are going to have to do a bit of wheeling and dealing. The budget is looking pretty poor, which is understandable after we blew it all on Aubameyang last season. But you lot have been calling for somebody to be shifted on. And that is going to be Gabriel Zinho, the fraudulent Brazilian. He almost cost us the flipping title last season with some of his squandered opportunities. So we're showing him the door. And we've actually turned a profit on him, 1.2 mil. We only bought him for $1 million flat. So it would appear the fans agree with the decision as well. As you can see, Marco, he's absolutely chuffed with the business. But obviously he needed replacing, so he sourced a domestic successor to that left midfield position, plucking Hong Young-san from Pohang Steelers. And to round off the business, the loanee from last year, Lee Jin-hyun, joins us on a permanent basis from Ulsan HD. Pre-season, we picked the one with the most cash on offer and gave all of the squad players a run out. We've given a chance to youngsters in goal and at the back, which you can see there, our goalkeeper making a good stop. And we also got to see the first impression of our new boy. I'm nicknaming him the Bald Eagle because look at him, he's got neck tats, bit of a maniac. But you could tell we were rotating players. Even bloody G got on the score sheet for once. That one, kissing the bar on the way in. Nice to see him rolling back the years. And as well, in the second half, we got to see the Gabby Z replacement get off the mark on Yunsang with an easy goal. But it's always nice to get that duck off your back, even if it is in pre-season. And in the following game, a snowy one which was interesting, we got to see glimpses of what the Bald Eagle can bring to us. He gets off the mark as well with a lovely finish into that far corner. Might need to sort out those celebrations though, mate, they're a little bit questionable. And then into the later stages of that game, we capped it off with a nice finish. Aubameyang slotting that one away. Thank you very much. We'll take that prize money. We win the pre-season tournament, so that is decent to kick things off, recoup a little bit of that business money. But that's enough of the off-season proceedings. I'll get on with it now, I promise. We're going to roll through the highlights. Again, not focusing on the league. It's all about the Asian Champo this season. Let's go. So as we've said, the league campaign this year is going to be second priority for us completely. Absolute full focus on the continental football that we have at our hands, throwing all of our eggs into the Asian Champions League basket. But having said that, we did play the opening league fixture. It'd be rude not to, but I won't show you any more of the K-League matches because it's not the focus. But the curtain raiser proved to be an absolute cakewalk for us. Both Aubameyang and Mitricha got us 2 up early doors, getting onto the score sheet. And, I mean, he's putting out these celebrations left, right and centre. I can't decide if I love it or hate it. But we put trust into our 18-year-old goalie, who we brought through the academy way back in episode 3, Pyeongchul Yu, and he impressed. Off the back of a couple senior loans, we think he's first team ready, and he's showing that. And into the second half, we sealed the deal, confirming a 3-0 dub, a debut goal for Hong Young-sang on that left-hand side. But as we said, that's the last you'll see of the league campaign for the time being. But very nice to get off to winning ways. But on to the continental stuff now. But just before we do kickstart the action, we have an unexpected event. Not a very exciting one though. I think it was just those two fighting over the last Zimmer frame at one of the care homes. Only kept them out for a couple of days, so don't worry. But here we go. This is where it gets serious. The Continental campaign begins with a trip to China, Shanghai Port, the ones that host us. And it's going to be a big one because, as we said, if we get the wins in the games against them and the games against Melbourne Victory, which we really should do, we are standing ourselves in good stead. Here's another look at the group that we find ourselves in. And the result on the opening day would be setting us up very, very nicely. Here's the lineup for Suwon FC. The only changes really from last season being the continued faith in our young keeper, as well as Yoon Jin Kim, the pink-haired centre-back you might remember, in the defence, and obviously the two new signings in at the number 10 spot and at left midfield. But we're going to get things underway. Aubameyang, can he continue that form from last season, or is the age going to get the better of him? Let's see. We get things underway. So the first opportunity of the match would go our way. Hwang Jae-won feeds it through to Manu. Down that right hand side he receives it, drives forward, looks to pull it back for Matrica, but it flashes wide of the post. But it's a nice little glimpse of what the Romanian could bring to us. They broke through not long later, and the game has a little bit of a moment as they get a booking, but they miss the target. That's what matters. In the second half, Manu again the threat, looks to tee up Aubameyang in the middle, his header, the keeper gets down well and denies him. We're running out of time here. Alba nips between two defenders. What can he do? Looks to pull it across for Tyson, but it's Manu that's there. Braden Manu. It's a scrappy goal, but the African link-up is on display. He's tumbled over as he diverts it into the net, but it sparks wild celebrations. We're down the touchline. All the subs are there. It's not a pretty finish, but that is not what matters. They don't have much time to get another opportunity, but it looks like they might do. But thankfully for us, the referee, a little bit questionably, calls for full time right there. And we will take that absolutely off to a winning start in the Asian Champions League group, courtesy of that late Braden Manu goal. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows though. You might have clocked a sub during that game. Matrica out for 3 months. That is a huge blow to our season. The star signing does mean that Tyson's got to come back in. We've got to hope that there's life in the old dog yet. He's in the lineup for the biggie against Al Ittihad. And ahead of the game we tick off a nice little milestone. 50 career wins in the bag. We'll hopefully add to it here. Let's see how we get on. We were the ones to get things underway in the Saudi sun, but it was the opposition that turned the heat on us. Literally, Hassem Aouar dancing through our defence, puts Partridge on skates, spanks it beyond our goalkeeper. The Algerian setting the tone for the game early on, but we couldn't let it deter us. We knew that we had to bounce back, but that's going to be difficult. The manager distraught on the touchline, but we would still threaten. Hwang Jae-won into Tyson, looking for that magical moment. Didn't quite provide it there. That one flashes wide of the post, but we look to build from the back. Tyson, this time turning provider, feeds it out wide, but he seams into the box. He gets it back. The shot is saved by Rajkovic and eventually hacked away. Not long left in the game. Is there time for one more opportunity? Well, for them there is, because we've given it away very cheaply, and they break through, kill the game, or Daz makes it 2-0, and they know that they've won the game. Big points dropped in the group. We knew that this was going to be one of the games that if we win, we'd almost seal qualification, but it meant that we had to focus on the next one against the old boys. Melbourne Victory. We'll run you through their lineup. Miranda and Jackson still going at the back, Samper in the middle, and of course the star boy Henry Serevi in up top. A reminder of good times, but we're on to bigger and better things now. And let's be honest, an A-League team might not have Ochoa anymore, but bloody hell, they've got his regen. Look at that for a save. We should be beating these lot though. An Aussie team up against the quality that we've got. But I'll tell you what, this goalkeeper, he's just standing firm. Time after time, it's save after save. Tyson has opportunities and he can't beat him. Into the second half, we're still deadlocked. Hong Yoon-sang goes close from distance, but we're looking like we're not going to be able to break them down. This time though, the Gabby Z replacement storms down the left hand side. He just gets his head down, gets into the box, drills it across, and that is a calamity of an own goal. Aubameyang shamelessly takes the acclaim, but it's an Oggy all day long. He's thrown himself at it, to be fair, battered the goalkeeper with the diving header, and Lachlan Jackson can't quite clear it in time before it trickles over the goal line. And from then on, thankfully it was smooth sailing. We break into the box again and Tyson caps it off. 40 years old, but he's still got it. That is a wonderful finish on the swivel. You'll see on the replay, it's actually really impressive how he's managed to turn this one in at the near post from such an angle while his body is falling over. But there we go, that made it 2, and that was all she wrote in that one. It's a solid return from the opening matches. 6 points from 9 is decent enough. We've beaten the teams that we highlighted that we'd want to beat at the halfway point. We'll be able to have a look at the group now, and we're already 4 points clear. Melbourne Victory in third, only on 2 points, so a win in this game would practically confirm our qualification already. We still haven't scored a free kick yet in this career mode, and that wait is going to have to go on a little bit longer. Aubameyang blasts it into the wall. But what is it with goalkeepers in this group stage? They're making unbelievable saves left, right and centre, but Park Chul-woo, hello! Little bit of trickery to unleash the Gabby Z replacement. He bursts into the box, but Tyson says, leave it to me, the sensei. Old age does not affect this bloke. He's unbelievable. We planned on phasing him out, but he's saying, listen mate, I'm not done yet. But we have got to remember his age is a factor. We've got to manage those minutes, but his work was done. They have a late opportunity, saved by our goalkeeper. No bother. We get the victory and we are through, more or less, to the knockouts. So that left 2 games against both Melbourne Victory and Al Ittihad. We simmed them both because we were practically through. This was the final game. We do lose, and a red card to our centre-back isn't ideal, but we are into the quarter-finals, and we'll have a look at the draw. It's Al Hilal that we pull in the quarters. They're the ones now standing in our way. Some big names in that roster. You've got the likes of Ruben Neves in there, of Milinkovic-Savic rounding out that midfield, Malcolm, the ex-Barcelona player, and of course Darwin bloody Nunez. Knockout football then, the highest of stakes, and we travel to Saudi Arabia for the first of 2 legs. There's 2-legged quarterfinals here, but this is the real deal. And unfortunately for us, we mentioned him ahead of the game, so is this bloke, Darwin Nunez, the competition's top scorer. He's going to be the man to look out for, and he looks up for it ahead of the game. But without our top centre-back, Park Jin-shob, we could be in for a difficult afternoon here. But the rest of the lineup outside of his absence is as you're used to. Tyson keeps his place, but Matriza is back, named on the bench, fresh off the back of his injury. But this is the biggest test of the series by far. We probably got a bit lucky with the group draw, but this is the toughest matchup we've had for sure. And that looked to be evident straight away as they had an opportunity. And it's alright though, we're pulling out some funky hand gestures. Are these supposed to be tactics? What does that mean? Anyway, we look to play a little bit of footy and try and upset the apple cart. We work it out to the left hand side in towards Aubameyang. Manu's got Akers on the right hand side, pulls it across. Tyson on the volley! Oh, it would have been so nice. It would have been beautiful. But at the other end, they're looking to get into our box, and that they do. Kim comes diving in, and the referee points to the spot. Oh, I'm not sure about that referee. Honestly, he's got the ball. I mean, he has got plenty of man on the way through, but they've got a penalty and an opportunity to take the lead. Castro steps up, but I'll tell you what, it's a good thing. The ball does not lie. The ball doesn't lie. It's never a penalty. That's why he's missed it. He's completely fluffed it wide of the mark, and we escape at 0-0 for a little bit. It doesn't really matter because Darwin Nunez has just absolutely roofed one into the top corner from outside the box. Unsavable. That's why this bloke is currently the best striker in the continent, and we look to find a way back into the game. Their striker scoring goals. Our striker hasn't scored a single goal in the competition yet until now. There he is. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang finally arrives on the Continental stage. His first goal in 7 games. We've kept the faith in him, but it's a lovely little heel-to-heel flick and an even more impressive finish right into that far corner. Big fan of that on the touchline. We're vindicated. But the game continues on. They work it into the box. It's back to defending for us, and it's back to making saves for our goalie. The second half was more of the same. This was just the normality, having to make saves, having to make blocks step in where we can. Just under 25 to go and it was time for the return. Alexandru Matrica is back on the pitch after 3 months out, and we're hoping that he's the bloke who can make the difference. Literally straight away they send that free kick forward, headed down, but he wins it, he nicks it, he's in there. Manu into Aubameyang on the flick, a bit of Gabonese sauce, and he breaks into the box. That is absolutely brilliant. Alex Matrica, how is that for an instant impact? Instantaneously, he wants the ball, he gets it, he storms forward, takes the extra touch to work it onto his left foot, slots it home, and we have an unlikely lead. And it's backs against the wall now. We're throwing everything in the way of it. There's deflected shots being parried. We're hacking it out of the box. And as we approach the final minutes, Darwizzy was going to have his say, wasn't he? That stupid little Uruguayan. He's doing my head in. And he makes this game a Desmond. And that's how it's going to finish. We lump the ball up the field. And that's the first leg. Over and done with. Heading into Korea for the second leg. We're all square. And this was it then. For all of the marbles, the second leg, everything to play for. Can we make that home advantage count? It could prove to be crucial, but time will only tell in this one. We had the opportunity to draw first blood as we work it down the left hand side, try and find something towards the edge of the box, eventually ends up at the feet of Aubameyang, but his effort slightly wayward and not troubling the goalkeeper. But the gap in class still feels obvious. They're dancing into the box, but how about that for a save? Pyeonchol-yu, that's a huge stop. But Manu into Matrica, and here's Aubameyang with the finesse into the back of the net. He's taken a while to turn up, I'll tell you that. But as soon as we call him out for not scoring in this competition, you speak of the devil and he shall appear. Look at this for a finesse. It's going wide of the post. It bends back in at the last moment, beats the goalkeeper's grasp. Fantastic. The hunt for that first free kick is still ongoing. Matrica's Trivella, oh my god, it was inches away, crashes off the bar, and the follow-up swung into the box but doesn't come to anything. But we've got the lead here. It feels like we've got the perfect picture all laid out for us. But Darwin Núñez, it's the same old story. Of course he scores, that sodding bloke. And look at this, he's taken the absolute mick, running to the centre circle. What's he doing? Just to do a stupid little knee slide. I hope you're happy with yourself, mate. Unfortunately, he has got the ability to back it up, but he's a knob. We're towards the end of the 90 minutes now. Mr. Reliable comes onto the pitch, Tyson. We're hoping that he can give us that moment of magic, but it's not to come in 90 minutes at least. This one destined for extra time, and both teams, you can tell that they're tiring. That ball over the top was far too easy, but thankfully our young keeper stands firm once again. And as we approach the final seconds with a shootout looming, we have that in mind. We bring on G for that set of penalties just in case. And that ball, as long as we can clear the free kick, which we do, this one is heading for a penalty shootout. I've not got the nerves for it, honestly, but penalties it is to be to decide this quarter-final fixture. And we're cutting the music now because this is serious stuff. We firm up the order for these penalties. It's the first 5 that are important, and we take first with that home advantage. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, can he set the tone? He can. Scored in the game, and he scores in the shootout as well. Then it was Darwizzy. No surprise, he's been scoring all the time, and he bags in the shootout as well. Then Gabriel Zinho's heir, Hong Yun-sang, signed from Pohang Steelers. What can he do? An excellent penalty into the top left hand corner. Malcolm next, the ex-Barcelona wonder kid. Fails to be our wonder kid. Pyeonchol-yu with the stop, and we have the advantage should Tyson score it. You little minx, there's never any doubt. Look at that for the Dinklage, and we have the advantage. Captain Cano now for Al Hilal. Big pressure, but it's a good penalty. Where he went for the bottom corner, he went for the top. But now the bald eagle steps up. Mind games, we go for the bottom corner this time, and it's in. Now they have to score. This could be it. We could be in to the semi-finals. Pyeonchol-yu, can he save it? Does the Al Hilal player have the bottle? Cheeky git, he's gone down the middle. But not to worry. Now stepping up is the club captain, Yoon Bit Garam. Came on in extra time to send us through to the semi-finals of the Asian Champions League. And he's missed it. He's hit the crossbar. It's heartbreaking, but it's still in our hands. Sergei Milinkovic-Savic has to score to keep the away side in it. And he does. We go through onto sudden death, and now it's G, who we brought on for this possible eventuality. Oh my god, he's blazed it wide. It's the worst penalty of the lot. And just like that, it's turned on its head. And now they're the ones that can win it. Al Hilal, it's a left footer. You know what they say about them. And it's saved again! Pyeonchol Yu, unbelievable. Keeps us in it once more. A sudden death save. The midfield general, J1, can't keep it going. He's at the post as well. It's gut-wrenching. We've only got ourselves to blame. And they step up to win it. And it's saved again! Unbelievable! Pyeonchol Yu. I can't believe what I'm seeing. Now, Park Jin-seob, quality penno, straight into that top corner. And for Al Hilal now, it's Tom Bakhti. What can he do? He's just seen a defender take a pretty good penalty. And he's replicated it pretty well. Sent the goalkeeper. Now Lee Ji-sol, our other centre-back. What can he do? He does the business. Converts that one, no problem. And we're not far away from the goalkeepers now, if this is to keep going on. But will we keep going on? Al Hilal with the chance to miss it, and we would go through. But we keep going on. It's a tidy penalty into the bottom corner. Now it's our last remaining outfielder, Hwang Jae-won. Excellent penalty into that top left corner. How long is this going to keep going? We've gone right twice in a row. That time we went left. What are Al Hilal going to do? They keep it ticking, sending the goalkeeper the wrong way again. And now it is the goalkeepers. Pyeonchol Yu, the hero so far in this shootout, hits the bar. He's missed it. And now it's their goalie. It's keeper on keeper to send them into the semi-finals. The man in purple with the red gloves. Up he steps. But it's off the post and it's off his arse! It's stayed out! I can't believe it. We go back round to the first takers. Aubameyang. Is that a hat-trick? He scored again. But now Darwizi steps up. Mr. Reliable in this competition. He's scored in every game that we faced him in. He's already scored in the shootout. We expect him to convert here. And Pyeonchol Yu, from hero to zero, back to hero again. He makes the save and we're through. He's denied Darwin Núñez the impossible task for anyone so far in the Asian Champions League. But it's pandemonium in Suwon and the underdogs have done it. I've honestly never experienced an end to a game like that on any FIFA instalment. I could not believe what was unfolding in front of my eyes. Genuinely bonkers. Back to the first round of takers after your keeper's missed and then saved one with his bum cheek. I genuinely don't have words for it. But we are through into the semi-finals. Let's take a look at the draw, if we can take a sigh of relief and have a look at what that means for us. It's Al Ali, another Saudi side. All the other teams now are Saudi sides, but Al Ali boasting Ivan Toney in their ranks, Frank Kessié as well, Riyad Mahrez you can see there, Enzo Milot. They've got such a deep talent pool, but bizarrely, right before the game, they've sacked their gaffer. They're managerless. They're going to have a caretaker in charge for the game. It's a bit of a gamble. I mean, they're going for the new manager bounce, I suppose, but they might be really unorganised. They might be out of sorts. We're just going to have to hope that it works in our favour. But yeah, we'll be hoping that that's the case. And taking a look at their lineup, Frank Kessié, the captain for them today. Talents like Enzo Milot don't even make the 11. That is how deep the talent is on this team. But here is us, unchanged from that last match. And we're going to have to just hope and pray for another upset, to be honest, and hope that we haven't used up all of our luck in that previous match. But that man being back is a big boost to our defence. Park Jin-seob returns from his suspension that he picked up in that last group game. But Frank Kessié, a man that we highlighted ahead of the game, is going to be the one to hand them the lead. We're going to be giving it everything in this one, but there's just no match for quality like that. Somebody that should really still be playing at the top European level has lashed one in right into the top corner, Not much we can do about it. And in the first half, I'll be honest with you, we were crap. We created absolutely nothing. The gap in quality was so evident. But in the second half, J1, the ever-present midfielder, chopping it up in the middle, eventually works it towards Aubameyang, who's picked up a knock, and he hasn't been able to shake it. That's a poor effort, and we make a judgment call on the touchline. Kim Gyong-min, who's been a bit part player for us really this season, comes on in his place. Aubameyang's devastated as he trots off the pitch, but straight into the thick of it is Kim Gyong-min, feeds it to Matriza, and ref will have the shirt pull there. I mean, we're claiming for anything here, but if you're not cheating, you're not trying, and we're getting absolutely nothing going forward. We just can't get any shots away. Their defence is so solid, but as we progress in towards Matriza, he looks to thread it through, and it's Hong Yun-sang, the Gabriel Zinho replacement. You can't tell me that he would have finished in that position, but there we go. We equalise against the run of play, and if you have a look at this, it's actually a little dummy from Kim Gyong-min as the ball comes through, but it's sometimes the little things that you don't notice that make all the difference. We take a draw back to Suwon, and we'll have a look at Aubameyang's injury news. It says it's only 5 days, but that's when the next fixture is, but he's the first name on the team sheet. We've dosed him up with painkillers, honestly, paracetamol, ibuprofen, anything. He's dosed up to the absolute eyes in anything that we can find. Back from injury, he's playing through the pain. Is he going to be able to make the difference for us? We know what happened last time. We took a draw back here to the Suwon FC stadium. Can we do the same again? Early on, we have a corner. Matriza standing over it. What can we do? In it goes, nodded down, and like bloody clockwork, Aubameyang's there, Johnny on the spot, in the right place at the right time. He finishes it straight into the back of the net. He brings it down on his thigh and then lashes it home with the power beyond the goalkeeper, who's never getting there. And let's be honest, after this game, given the gap in quality, we wanted to turn it into an ugly affair. Challenges flying in, it's a foul from Lee Ji-sol, and Matriza keeping the run going of the harsh challenges, but we get into the break with the lead on aggregate. They try and play out from the back, but Hwang Jae-won is having none of it. Manu slips it through to Matriza, and guess who's there? Yet again, it's a poacher's finish. This is why we've dosed him up. The paracetamol, the ibuprofen, the cold and flu, literally anything we've given this bloke to get him through this game. He's playing practically on drugs, but he scores there. Our number 99, he's no flake. He turns up when it matters, and we did the sensible thing, brought him off right after he completed his brace there. G comes on to round off the fixture, but that was a job well done. We get the victory, 3-1 on aggregate against the run of play. We were the underdogs, but we got it done. A striker playing through injury was enough. It was the call that we made. We could have swapped him out for Kim Gyong-min given his solid appearance in the last game, but we are through into the final, and let's see who's going to be waiting for us there. But first of all, in the press conference, of course, we've got to wax lyrical about Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, because he deserves it, let's be frank. But it's Al Ittihad in the final. How poetic is that? The team that we had in our group that beat us twice in the group stage. We're going to have revenge on our minds, as well as the trophy, of course. But this is a team that put us to the sword in the group stage and brushed us aside easily. They've got Kante, they've got Fabinho, Pereira, a deep talent pool like so many of these Saudi teams do. But let's see what we can do. And of course, we're live for this one. Well then, here we go. The final. The Asian Champions League final. We've worked all season to get here. It's been the priority from day dot. And we've actually made it. We've faced some tough teams along the way. All Saudi Arabian clubs in the knockouts. As expected, the Saudi Pro League is a very strong division. But we had that lucky penalty shootout in the quarterfinals. And then thankfully faced a managerless team in the semis. But now it's Al Ittihad, the team that we had in our group that defeated us twice in our group. Granted, we did simulate the last of those two fixtures, but nonetheless, they were the side that beat us twice. We've got revenge on our minds, but not only that, it's all about the title, it's all about the trophy. This could well be our last game, not only in Korean football, but in Asian football if it goes the way we want to. There's their lineup: Fabinho, Kante, Awar, Bergwijn, some big names in there, Ricardo Pereira as well. on the bench. I think one of those guys came on and scored against us. But can we stand in their way? Can we do more than that? Here's our team. Pyeongchul Yu in net. The back four, as you would expect. We've gone with Lee Ji-sol at the back. The double pivot of Hamza and Jaewon never changes. Mitricha back in there, in the 10. Aubameyang up top. The bench is kind of the same as it's been all season. That Barcelos Freda is Tyson. Don't worry, he's in the team. But there's your 11. There's your lineup. Can Suwon FC make history here against Al Ittihad in the Asian Champions League final? Can we win a Continental trophy for the first time in this Journeyman career mode? Let's see, shall we? It all comes down to this. We're underway. Can we get the one out to Manu? Oh, it's a bit slow, but we've made it. Hold it up. Just bang it in the box. Aubameyang's there. I'll tell you what, Rigby's come in and he's done well, but that is a promising start. Early doors. He needs to be careful with those arm gestures, I'm telling you. Mitricha, what can we dig out? Anyone at the front post? No, it's gone to the back. Headed down. Go on. Oh, big save. Oh, it's not gone in. We've had 3 bites of the cherry there. Park Jin-shob heads it down. Hwang Jae-won then, I think, gets it on further. And then Aubameyang, I think the ball had gone before he smashed it into the side netting. But it's an early opportunity. Hwang Jae-won comes across, doesn't get it. Hamza steps up though. Oh, but we can't keep it. Awar. Roger. Oh, it's a save. I'll tell you what, I thought that was going to bounce into the back of the net. Pyeongchul Yu with a save to deny Roger. And now with a corner. Bergwijn whips it in. Headed. Good catch. Good claim. We're alright. Can't get beyond him, but Awar still has it. Lee Ji-sol steps in. Manu just about manages to spin away. And he's going to keep going, Manu. Bit of space. Cuts in. That's good. Evades the challenge. We'll go back out wide. Hwang Jae-won. Can we pull it across the face? Mitricha! Get in there! Alexandru Mitricha on the brink of half-time. We threaten down that right-hand side. Braden Manu gets it. He cuts inside, but then we chop back outside. Hwang Jae-won on the overlap. Bombing on as we love our fullbacks to do. And it's the Romanian. He missed basically the whole group stage, but he's back for the knockouts and he's performing. He's set up Aubameyang in the last one to get the icing goal, but this time he's scoring it in the final, just before the half as well. It's the perfect time to score. Our Romanian number 10 has got us in front in the Asian Champions League final. Get in there, my son. Wow, literally. The referee blows his whistle immediately as they kick off. They've not even got time to do anything. That is the perfect way to end the first 45. And now, 3/4 of an hour stand between us and history, lifting that Continental title. Surely it couldn't be. Win that. Ooh, we've not won it. Fabinho. Oh, Hamza's come across. That's so good. We've got a man down on the far side though. I think it's Park Chol-woo. That is not what we want to see. Oh, and they're going to exploit it. Look at this. Where's your fair play? Roger gets away from his man. In space. Awar. Walsh. Great save from Pyeongchul Yu. He's bailed us out there. We were left vulnerable on that left-hand side. Mitricha. Give it to Aubameyang. He can run. Danilo Pereira. He's not got any legs anymore. Jesus Christ, neither does Aubameyang. Oh, we kept it though. J1. Hamza. Have a pop, mate. Oh, it's not bad. On the scraps. Oh, double save from Rajkovic. An hour gone. Half an hour to go. They're ringing the changes. We're holding firm. We will make our first change. We're trying to bank them to run the clock. But Park Chol-woo, yet to shift that knock, comes off for the OG captain, Yoonbit Garam. Takes the armband for the last 10. J1 slots in at left back. Or Daz. Coming forward. Looks to find Roger over the top. But J1 puts his head in where it hurts. Gets clattered in the process. But they're going to have the throw in. DeVos. Back to Roger. Foot in. Park Jin-shob, brilliant. We're penning them in now. We're just going to hit the line. Aubameyang win it. He's not even tried. Hamza gets stuck in there. I think that's definitely a foul for the intent. But we are 20 seconds away from this title. It's only fair. Get the old boys on. Get them out of their bibs for that trophy lift. On come Tyson and G. Just to run the clock. They go long. Not long enough. Is there going to be one more opportunity? No, there's not. There's the full-time whistle. It's a 1-0 win in the final. Suwon FC are Asian Champions League winners. The bench is on. The limbs are there. We can't believe it. We've had an unreal run in the knockouts. Al Hilal in the quarters. I don't even know how to begin describing that penalty shootout that we ended up coming out on top of. The semi-final against a managerless Al Ali side. We got a stroke of luck with that one. They didn't have the new manager bounce. They were out of sorts and we beat them there. But in the final, Al Ittihad, we win on merit. They beat us twice in the group. But who cares about the group? It's all about the final and we've done it. That Matrica goal in the first half, the big signing ahead of this season, proves to be the man that comes up with the big moment. And here we go. Who else? It would be wrong if it was anyone else. Yoonbit Garam, the man who we slapped the armband on the day that we walked in the door, is going to lift the Asian Champions League trophy. Get in there. Continental success arrives at Suwon, and that is probably the perfect way to end things and end our chapter in Korea. That is amazing. Yoonbit Garam, you've earned that, son. He's been a bit part player this season, been limited to sort of last 10 or 15 minute appearances off the bench. But when he needs to come on and break up the play a little bit, when you need that experience and the assurance, he provides it. And we've done it. He's provided us with the trophy lift, the all-important one. We didn't get a proper cutscene winning the league last season, so it's nice to have this one after the Continental success. That's just beautiful. There we go, boys. Line up for the photo, because that is the Suwon Swong Song, if you like. Made a bit of a meal of that. But we are Asian Champions League winners, and that caps off the Korean chapter in the perfect way. Well, there you have it. Not a bad way to end things here at Suwon at all. But that, of course, begs the question, where next and what next for this Journeyman save? I think the only logical step is one of the Americas before we head into Europe. And looking in Argentina, there's plenty of job openings there. So that looks like a promising avenue for us if we are to switch there. Maybe go into the Libertadores, the Sudamericana, that could be big. On the other hand, you've got the MLS, where there are a couple of jobs open, but given their funky calendar, we're not seeing too many available jobs. But let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you very much for watching this video. I know it's been a long one, but it had to be with that mental shootout. I had to include the whole thing there. But thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers, and bye-bye.